Have you finished your census sweeps Unit 327?
Yes, they are completed. No life has been detected.
None whatsoever?
A few microbes, but nothing higher than that. The entire biosphere has been completely destroyed.
Have you found the cause of the destruction?
A global war. The evidence is 100% accurate in this regard. No type of catalogued exoplanetary event could have caused the level of destruction or the completeness of its effects.
War leaves survivors on 99.38% of the documented conflicts. Was there something unusual about this war?
Do you mean other than the fact that they killed each other down to the last being and then killed the ecosystem just in case they missed a few enemies?
Yes. What started the war?
From the few records I could find in random functioning data sources, it started because some of them denounced the Supreme Creator and tried to force others to stop their beliefs.
Illogical. Such a core belief cannot be dispelled, and any action to change a core belief causes further devotion towards it.
Correct. Another group on the opposite side of the spectrum believed that their version of the Supreme Creator made them superior to all others and gave them the right to terminate those that did not believe as strongly as they did.
Illogical. One being could not know the devotion level of another being. The self would always interpret that it had more devotion than the other.
Correct. I did hyperlink you before you made the trip here that my evidence indicates that these beings were, in 97.2% of the time, functioning without the foundation of logic.
Did the two groups compose the entire population of beings on this planet?
No, the two extreme groups only counted for a small portion of the planetary population. However, both sides were quite brutal at their treatment of the majority. The extreme groups further established interaction policies where their beliefs could be broadcast, but those of the majority were rejected by labeling the majority as having an irrational bias against the two extreme groups.
So the extreme groups broadcast against the majority who were unable to broadcast their belief or debate the beliefs of the extreme.
Correct.
Illogical. Why did the majority allow this?
I have been unable to determine that answer due to the level of data corruption in the sources that I found. I spent over 136 planetary revolutions searching this entire planet for information, and less than 1% of it was readable.
Your level of analysis has been noted for future reflection. Continue your report.
It turns out that while these groups were fighting over the belief systems of the majority, a second battle was being waged by two other groups. The first group felt they were rational enough and held the proper respect for the Supreme Creator that they could govern themselves based on a golden book of rules that encouraged beings to treat each other with mutual respect and cooperation.
Were you able to discover any statistical data to support that assertion?
Yes, I found several sources of data that supported this claim. A number of the most successful civilizations exhibited open freedom and liberty to the member beings.
Continue.
The other group had the opinion that the majority of the population were of substandard intelligence and therefore had to be instructed on all levels of function and interaction. This group, of course, felt they were of exceptional intelligence and that they should be the ones to command the rest of the majority.
Were you able to discover any statistical data to support that assertion?
No conclusive data at all was discovered, only the views of that group. In fact, I found evidence that many of the nations that offered liberty to their member beings eventually were converted to the views of the second group. In the end, all those civilizations collapsed.
Illogical. Liberty is a natural desire of all beings. To choose a system of being commanded over a system of self-command is not in the best interest of the individual beings.
Correct. It also appears that the extreme belief groups and the non-liberty group joined forces against the majority that respected the Supreme Creator and prized liberty and self-command.
Is that how the war started?
Not exactly. The data suggest there were also arguments at yet another level where some beings felt their day-to-day technology was artificially elevating planet-wide temperatures. Others argued that it was natural variances of the local star's output.
Stellar variances are common of all stars. The beings here were unable to study this phenomena?
They did study it, and I found reports on stellar activity. No out-of-parameter variances for this type of star were recorded.
Was the technology affecting planetary temperatures?
Not according to the data I found. However, I did find that conflicting reports were submitted by both sides, so there is insufficient data to ascertain with certainty if there were any artificially induced temperature variances.
Continue.
Not long before the global war started, there were numerous natural disasters that caused shortages of biofuel, transportation, and technology among the civilizations.
Logical. Conflicts over scarce resources often occur among organic beings.
Correct. However, these were fueled by the other aspects of disagreement that I have previously reported. Civilizations split along lines of belief and command philosophies. Then a global exchange of atomic weapons destroyed many population centers.
How many beings survived the atomic weapon attacks?
Approximately 12%. They continued to fight in smaller groups since civilizations were not equally divided by beliefs or command tolerances.
Continue. Unit 327. Continue your report, please.
A biogenic device was released.
By which side?
I was unable to discover the source of the device or its initial release point.
How long did it take?
The device was very effective. All data recordings ceased across the planet within 7 days of its release. All lower life forms terminated within 12 days.
Unfortunate. Do you have anything further to report?
The last piece of information documented by beings of this planet was, the avalanche has already started. It is too late for the pebbles to vote. End report.
Your report is so archived. The Supreme Creator has cleared us to depart for our next planetary investigation task. Please raise the ship and take us out of this system.
Acknowledged.
Earth case closed.